The rain had been falling since morning, soft at first, like a whisper against the windows, and then heavier, as if the sky itself had grown tired of holding back its emotions. Inside the quiet apartment, everything felt still, too still. The kind of silence that doesn't comfort, but presses against your chest until you can barely breathe. Areeba stood near the dining table, her fingers lightly gripping the edge. In her other hand were the papers. Crisp, final, life-changing. Divorce papers. She had imagined this moment many times before. In those thoughts, she was stronger, colder, unaffected. But now, standing here, watching the man she had once loved more than anything, her heart trembled in ways she couldn't control. Zion sat on the couch, leaning slightly forward, his elbows resting on his knees. His phone was in his hand. His eyes were fixed on the screen. Not on her. Not on the papers. Not on the life they had built together. Just on that message. Areeba swallowed hard. "Zion," she said softly. No response. She took a step closer. "Zion." This time he blinked, as if returning from somewhere far away. He murmured, but his eyes dropped back to the phone almost instantly. That one small moment told her everything. Still, she walked forward and placed the papers on the table in front of him. The sound was light, but in her heart, it echoed like something breaking. "I need you to sign these," she said. He barely glanced up. "What is it?" "Just look at it." He sighed, slightly irritated, and finally set his phone aside, though not too far, as if he needed it within reach. He picked up the papers, scanning them lazily at first, and then his expression shifted. "What is this?" he asked, frowning. "You know what it is." His eyes moved across the page again, slower this time. "Divorce," he said, almost disbelieving. "Areeba, what kind of joke is this?" "It's not a joke." There was a pause. The rain outside grew louder. Zion leaned back, running a hand through his hair. "You're overreacting again." Areeba smiled faintly, but there was no warmth in it. "Again." "Yeah," he said. "You always do this. Small things become big problems for you." "Small things," she repeated quietly. Her gaze drifted to his phone, lying just inches away from his hand. The screen lit up again with a new notification. He didn't try to hide it this time. He didn't even seem to realize. A name flashed. Not hers. Her chest tightened, but her voice remained calm. "Who is she, Zion?" He hesitated for a fraction of a second, just enough to confirm what she already knew. "No one," he replied quickly. "Just work." "Work doesn't send messages at midnight," she said. "Work doesn't make you smile at your phone while sitting next to your wife." He looked away. That silence, it was louder than any confession. Areeba took a deep breath. "I didn't come to fight today," she said. "I came to end this peacefully." "End," he scoffed. "You think marriage ends like this? Just papers and signatures?" "No," she said softly. "It ended long ago. I'm just making it official now." Zion stood up, frustration rising in his voice. "You're being dramatic." "Am I?" she asked, her eyes finally meeting his. "When was the last time you asked me how my day was?" He said nothing. "When was the last time we sat together without you checking your phone every few minutes?" Still nothing. "When was the last time you looked at me the way you used to?" His silence turned heavy. Areeba felt something inside her crack, but she held herself together. "I remember everything, Zion," she whispered. "I remember how you used to wait for me after work. How you would bring me coffee just the way I like it. How you used to listen, really listen." Her voice trembled slightly now. "But somewhere along the way, I became invisible to you." Zion exhaled slowly. "Things change, Areeba. Life isn't a fairy tale." "I know," she said. "But love shouldn't feel like loneliness." The words hung in the air between them. For a moment, it felt like he might say something meaningful. Something real. Something that could change everything. But then his phone buzzed again. And instinctively, he looked at it. That was it. That was the moment her heart finally gave up. Areeba nodded to herself, as if accepting a truth she had been avoiding for too long. "You don't even realize what you're losing," she said quietly. He frowned. "Stop making this bigger than it is." She shook her head gently. "No, Zion. You made it small, something that didn't matter anymore." She turned away from him, walking toward the bedroom. Each step felt heavier than the last. Behind her, he called out, "Where are you going?" To pack my things. You're not serious, he said, following her. But she didn't stop. She opened the wardrobe and pulled out a suitcase, the same one they had used on their first trip together. Back then, it had been filled with excitement. Now it held goodbye. As she folded her clothes, memories came rushing back. Laughter, late-night conversations, shared dreams, promises that once felt unbreakable. Zion stood at the door, watching her. You're really leaving? She didn't look at him. Yes. For what? Because of a few messages. She paused, then finally turned to face him. It's not the messages, Zion. It's everything behind them. He looked confused. It's the distance, she explained. The silence. The way you stopped choosing me. I'm still here, he argued. Your body is, she said softly. But your heart left a long time ago. He opened his mouth to respond, but no words came out. For the first time, uncertainty flickered in his eyes. Areeba zipped the suitcase and picked it up. It felt heavier than it should have, as if it carried not just her belongings, but all the years she was leaving behind. She walked past him, back into the living room. The papers were still on the table, waiting. I'll come back for the signed papers tomorrow, she said. Zion looked at her, something shifting in his expression. And if I don't sign? She met his gaze, calm but firm. Then I'll still leave. That answer seemed to hit him harder than anything else. The rain outside began to slow, as if the storm was finally passing. Areeba moved toward the door, her hand reaching for the handle. Areeba, he said suddenly. She stopped. For a brief second, hope flickered inside her. Maybe he would finally say something. Something real. Something that mattered. She turned slightly, waiting. But when she looked at him, he was holding his phone again. Reading. Distracted. Lost in someone else's words. The hope inside her faded completely. Without another word, she opened the door. The cool air brushed against her face as she stepped outside. It felt different. Lighter somehow, even with the pain still sitting heavily in her chest. Behind her, the door closed softly. And just like that, it was over. Zion didn't run after her. He didn't call her name again. Inside, he sat down slowly, staring at the papers on the table. The reality of the situation began to settle in, piece by piece. He picked them up again, reading more carefully this time. Each line felt heavier, more final. His eyes drifted to the empty space near the door, where she had stood just moments ago. The apartment felt different now. Quieter. Colder. He reached for his phone again, almost out of habit. The message was still there, waiting. But for the first time, it didn't feel as important. A strange unease crept into his chest. He looked around the room, the photos on the wall, the small details she had added to make this place feel like home. Things he had stopped noticing. Things he had taken for granted. His grip on the phone loosened. Outside, Areeba walked slowly down the street, the rain now reduced to a gentle drizzle. Tears blurred her vision, but she didn't stop. Each step hurt, but each step also freed her. She didn't know what the future held. She didn't know how long it would take to heal. But she knew one thing. She had chosen herself, and sometimes that is the bravest kind of love there is. Behind her, in the apartment she once called home, Zion sat alone, staring at the life he hadn't realized he was losing. And by the time he understood it, she was already gone.